and I won't back down. Hey, baby, there ain't no easy way out. Hey, everybody, thanks so much for joining us right here on The Right View. Tonight, we're so stoked. We are joined by actor, comedian, producer, and host of the Hate to Break It to You podcast, Jamie Kennedy. Jamie, I just said it to you, but I am a big fan of yours. I used to watch your show all the time. I'm sure people tell you that. You're a funny guy. And so we're excited to talk to you a little bit. And I always wonder sort of like how do you get into this stuff, right? I read that you grew up in Pennsylvania and maybe you weren't the best student growing up. It happens, but you decided to move to Hollywood and make it in the entertainment industry, which is a tough thing to do. I have to imagine your parents maybe weren't excited about it, or were they? How do they feel now? What's happening? How'd you end up here?
Thank you. That's very nice. That's a very nice compliment coming from you. And,
Yeah.
well, it's just, I exactly like you said, I wasn't the best student. I was always kind of joking around. I was thinking about this, how everything that I kind of did that I wasn't supposed to do in school is how I become successful. You know what I mean? I was loud. I was talkative. All day I just get paid to talk. You know what I'm saying? Or act out and be characters and stuff. So I just never really had a normal look at society. And I just was like, I just knew that I wanted to do something else. So how I got here is a long story. But when I wanted to go to Hollywood, my parents were confused. It was like saying that we want to go to the moon. What is that? You know what I'm saying? Because it's just a different thing, especially in the late 80s.
Yeah.
But there's so much more. I was telling somebody the other day, there's just so much more in life than just basic. Not everybody wants to be a certain thing that they train you in school,
Yeah, follow the traditional path. We're open to doing all the new. Yeah, why not? I love that you said that you wanted to like figure out how to make a living basically out of sort of what got you in trouble in school. It bodes well for my son, Jamie, because I get some notes sometimes from school that's like, Luke thinks it's really cute to be funny in class. So maybe he'll follow your footprints.
How old is your son?
Oh, he's in first grade. He's 7. So yeah,
so you know what?
Yeah.
Because school, in my opinion, puts you in a box.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of personality. And so, I always, let people express themselves and see where they go. But obviously, the other kids are trying to learn. You can't.
Yeah, that's what I try to tell them. So you moved out to the West Coast to pursue this dream. Obviously, I think fairly early on, from what I recall, you sort of made it in essence. Like, what was your parents' reaction to that? Because sometimes parents get nervous. Mine, when I said I was moving to New York, was sure that I would end up probably in like a drainage ditch somewhere, but here we are.
Wow. Yeah. It took me a little while. It was like 6 years, which doesn't seem that long, but it was every day. It was a not crazy thing because it's just so broke. And I think they started. It wasn't like an overnight thing, but I started, I got a commercial there and I got a guest spot there. I started doing extra work as the first thing. It was just a slow process of them discovering it and myself as well, And then I think when we went to the first premiere, big premiere was for Scream, they were like, this is so wild. What is this? And I'm like, I don't know. I'm with you. And so they were, I think, very happy for me and excited, obviously, but we're all in learning it together, So it's just different. Think about, people don't realize we didn't have social media back then. We didn't have smartphones. We didn't have a Motorola brick.
Oh my God.
We had one cell phone on the set of Scream, and it was a set phone. And to get it, you had to get it.
These kids these days, Jamie, will never know about this stuff. I know that we are 700 years old. So what's funny is that your page, I was looking at your Instagram page, and I think it's one of your more recent videos. You posted there's a story about somebody selling a piece of artwork. It was a banana that was duct taped onto a wall. And it went, I think it went for like $1 million. It was something like ridiculous, if I recall correctly.
6.5.
How much?
6.5.
6.5. Okay. So,
For
and
a
then,
banana on a wall.
but you did basically a whole skit on this back in the day, right? Where you like taped stuff to
21 years
plates.
ago.
21 years ago. What is happening in life, Jamie? What is this?
We went to Miami and did a bunch of jokes, and Art Basler's down there. But actually, this joke was in New York, and it was how the art scene, like people. So we made this up, and we were like, "Oh, this is a plate, and what you have on the plate is you could put other things." So we call this the fork on the plate, and so you put fork on a plate and put it like together, and like we wanted to see if people would buy it, would they make bids, and people were bidding on it. So the whole crazy thing is that the actual thing that was a joke became reality.
Yeah.
Well, it's just like we're in this weird world of like things that are like jokes are becoming reality. So like, I don't know. I be posted for like, he did that. It's no music.
But it's kind of like I feel like it's a bit reflective of society in general. Like there's so many people who just kind of are like led like sheep in so many respects to whatever it is. They just turn on their TV to the same station every day. Open up a newspaper if people are even reading anymore. It's questionable if they can even read anymore. And like whatever is there is what they buy. There's no ability to really like reflect on your own or do your own research. And it's kind of like why whenever you show up at this like art scene with a toilet paper roll taped to a plate, people are like, yeah, $9,000 for that. It is kind of where I feel like we are now. But I actually am a little bit hopeful, Jamie. I feel like people are starting to get like that maybe they've been a joke for a long time and that some of this stuff is ridiculous. How do you feel about things right now? I mean, you've probably seen Hollywood change a lot since you've been there. I feel like it's probably been a lot harder to be a comedian in the current environment we're in. But I'm feeling pretty hopeful for the future at this point.
Oh, yeah. I mean, 2 years ago, your father-in-law, I think, going to change the climate, better than ever because Hollywood has changed completely different. I mean, it's just not even making the volume of things like, at movies, there's not as many movies. There's not as many TV shows. What's a new TV show? Where do you find it? It used to be something called pilot season. During that time, by the way, this is a sidebar. As we were doing that play, toilet paper roll on play, I was in New York filming in New York, and then we went to Miami. And they were filming a pilot for a new show in the same area on the street. They were doing segments, and it was called The Apprentice. 2003. Is that crazy?
Wow. Wow. Full circle, Jamie.
I know. So I think that, listen, comedy is the great barometer of what's happening in society. And to me, it used to be music, we were rebels, but a lot of these musicians now are so scared to speak out. And actors, I thought, were like so cool. And now they're like just doing the bidding of people that are telling them what to say in a lot of ways. It's weird. And so comedians are the kind of the free ones. So I think comedy is in a great place, even when there was a lot of pushback on it.
Yeah.
It still was in a great place because it made other people go, well, why can't it happen? This is a joke. And so it's in a good place. Podcasting is also an amazing place that helps it. And I think Hollywood is different forever. I mean, your son who's in first grade, who knows what a movie, if he'll even care about movies, by the time he's in fifth grade. You know what I'm saying? So it's true. Totally different. So there's so many different avenues to get entertainment and information that's completely disrupted. Traditional, it will never be the same in my opinion.
No, I think you're right. And I think what's interesting when it comes to comedy specifically is that the reason that things are funny is because there's like a grain of truth in it sometimes. And you have to be able to accept that and like laugh at it, right? Mm-hmm. That's kind of the basis for good comedy. And I think that that's a problem that a lot of people, maybe over the past, I don't know, I'm going to say 10 years or so, have had, is that they're in like an alternate form of reality. Like they're not willing to actually look at truth about things that are going on. To me, that's why I think, comedy has maybe taken us out of this space, and we're going to survive on the other side of it. But I wonder for you, as a person who spent so much of your life in Hollywood, did you always pay attention to politics? Like, did you do this growing up, or is this something that kind of has become relatively new for you?
Very new. No, I was never into that. I just was like, my life I've been very fortunate throughout my life, whatever, growing up or even in Hollywood, even when I was broke, it was still like, it wasn't crazy, life wasn't that hard. It's just, I wasn't like it wasn't hard. So, and I just figured, oh, those are the guys over there. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah,
we didn't have the ability. Everything was there. You know what I'm saying? I remember like, I don't know. Remember, I'm older than you, but like there's something called Nightline, and Nightline was on. And I remember in 1979 there was something about like the Ayatollah Khomeini, and it was like something with Iran, but it was over there. You were like a young child. He's never in your face, you know what I'm saying? But with social media and all this stuff, the long story boring is, in 2021, I did a movie, and it was about Roe versus Wade, and I was just acting on it, and I got so much attacked, and I was just completely maligned for being in this movie. And I'm like, I'm an actor in a movie, and by being in the movie, I just was an actor. And then I got so much anger, and then when I went to CPAC to promote it, and people are like, how can you do that? Well, I didn't even know what it was. I'm like, it's a press stop, and so I'm like, I didn't know. Like, they were like, that's all right wing, breeding ground. I'm like, what are you talking about, right wing? I'm just here promoting me. And so articles were written about me. How did I do this? All this stuff. And that literally, it was like the birth. They started birthing a villain. And I talk about it on my pod. I said, how we got here is because we came after people like me. And then we actually started looking into the stuff, investigating stuff, and going, oh, shit, this isn't right. And so, like, I never had an opinion on abortion. I was down the line, like, ladies' choice or whatever. I never thought into it. And then after I got all these attacks, I started looking into it. And I started reading about it. And I was like, okay, well, maybe I have a lot more questions now. So they awakened the giant by doing that. And that's when it started.
MyPillow is excited to announce that their Christmas extravaganza is finally here. Get this season's flannel sheets for as low as $59.98. They won't last long, so get them while you can. Their famous My Slippers, these haven't been on sale for over a year and are regularly priced at $119.98, but for a limited time are now only $59.98. And their 6-pack towel sets are back in stock with extremely limited quantities, only $29.98. With hundreds of MyPillow products, there's something for everyone on your Christmas list, from bathrobes, duvets, quilts, down comforters, and so much more. But that's not all. They're extending their 60-day money-back guarantee until March 1st, 2025. Plus, all orders over $75 or more ship absolutely free. Go to mypillow.com or call 800-624-3945 and be sure to use promo code TRUMP to save on all MyPillow products. That's promo code TRUMP.
It's really funny because I feel like, unfortunately, sometimes you have to go through those moments where you're like, wait a minute, what? And I would actually argue that it kind of happened to all of us in our family. Really, the day that my father-in-law announced he was running for president in 2015, none of us were ever political. And I just assumed, I think like the rest of the family, okay, well, he'll announce he's running for president, and, everybody will, it'll be what it is. Things won't get that crazy. And it got really crazy, really fast for us. But I wonder for you, you seem sort of like a bit of an independent voter in terms of your politics, but prior to your experience, this Roe v. Wade experience, What did you think of things? Like, did you have some self-reflection after that and then kind of looked into Donald Trump and said, oh, well, the things people said about him aren't true? Like, where did you stand on things prior to that?
Prior to the Roe v. Wade,
Yeah.
I didn't have a real opinion. I thought, like, here's a man who's challenging the establishment. And I thought, what was funny is, I mean, this could be a 4-hour podcast, but I just remember how popular, your father-in-law, Donald J. Trump, or let's just say the president, the 45th and 47th.
Yeah, we can say that now.
Yeah,
we can say it now, Jamie. It's official.
I just remember how popular he was in Hollywood and what a staple he was in New York. When I would go to any press for like a week in New York, I stayed. I'm following, bro, like the best. You know what I mean? It was so comfortable. Or you're in New York and you're at an event and some kind of big event, and there was Donald Trump, and he was a fixture. And in Hollywood, he was in TV, he was in movies, he was in commercials, and then he became the biggest TV star. And I remember he at like the what they call it's where you do press every year for your show.
Press junket.
Yeah, TCA. And you couldn't get near your father-in-law. You could not get near your father-in-law. I talk about this because everybody wanted a picture with him. This is before he was running for president. Okay?
Yeah.
The minute he ran, all of a sudden, he's a pariah. What? What? Hollywood loved him. Rappers rap about him. He's a fixture of pop Americana, world pop culture. So I was like, that's weird. For the first time he ran, I didn't really pay much attention. I didn't, unfortunately, I'm going to be honest, I was good with sheeple. I was like, well, this is an outsider, but
that's okay, Jamie. But I love that you're on this side now because you see it. That's okay. You're cool with that.
I didn't know he was going to win. It was just like, and then when he won, he completely shocked the world. I'm going to tell you what, I give credit to your father-in-law for really waking all of us up because I started paying attention. I watched every news conference. I was shooting like 2 movies and that summer of 2016. And I just remember watching CNN, always watching his press conferences. So then I started getting into it. And then I'm like, oh my gosh, this guy is hilarious. Like,
he really is.
And I was like, people don't realize how much he won just because he's hilarious. Because he can talk about things in the normalest way, and you say things that you're like, oh, I might have said that, or I kind of should have said that like that, and so comedy going full circle comes back to one of the reasons why he was elected, in my opinion. And then that was the first time with kind of like this this outsider, like a Ross Perot, but he did it right.
Yeah,
crazy. And then the next time, it's just well, there's just too much to say. I could have a 4-hour conversation, but I've never seen, people say you're drinking the Kool-Aid. I'm like, what Kool-Aid do you not see? Like talk about it. I wasn't anything. Okay. I live in Hollywood, or I'm here. Well, it's like Berkeley. All right. But there's tons of people in Hollywood that feel like me. I just want you to know that. And I want your father-in-law to know that. And I know they know that. There's a lot of people that won't call. But I think more and more people are because things are so crazy. But just him, and here's the number one thing. I had never seen in my history, and I asked my brother, who's 14 years old, have you ever seen a political candidate this maligned? And he's like, no.
Yep.
And I was like, just everything. And I was like, this is, why would you go after somebody so much? What is he, you know what I'm saying? So it's a 5-hour conversation.
No, but by the way, you feel what you're saying, Jamie.
When Pennsylvania happened, I was like, that's it.
Yeah.
That's it. This was crazy. And then the reaction to it, Laura, I could get upset. Like, it's like the reaction to it, the empathy that was not shown towards your father-in-law. I mean, this is a man just it's almost fascinating. You know this better than I do, that you're in his family. And people who are just so, the other side is just so cold, being
Yeah, he planned it. That's what a lot of these lunatics said. Yeah, he planned it. This was all fake. It was all a hoax. It was a stunt. It's outrageous. But I actually think that what happened on November 5th was so loud and it was so big and it was undisputable. Like you cannot look at the way he won that election on that night and say anything other than what they've tried to do to this man has not worked. And so many more people understood what they were doing and understood the truth than anyone ever expected. I really believe that. And so I feel very hopeful, like I said a minute ago, for the future. I hope I hope your industry, by the way, I hope Hollywood and that whole industry has also taken note of this. Do you feel like that things in the entertainment space are going to change at all as a result of this election?
Well, Laura, I was on this phone. Your phone is beeping. Okay, mine is too. Do you know why? My crypto wallet goes crazy.
Oh.
Thank you, Don. Thank you, DJT. Okay, like just in 2 weeks, I woke up this morning with an alert that said like Palestine, Israel, and someone else wants this talk ceasefire. Like, yes, there's so much happening. Like I love the cabinet. I love all the people he put together.
Yeah.
So do I think our industries? I think they have to, because I travel every week and I'm around the country, and that red wave was not surprising for me. I don't know one group of people when I would do jokes about politics that would go, "Yay, give me Tim Wall." I don't. No, everybody just like from anywhere, and I'm not just talking about Texas. All right, I'm saying this stuff is happening in Philly. I was almost mad at Philly because that's my mom. I'm like, Philly, bring it home. The Amish brought it home.
They really did. Yeah.
So Lancaster in the house, but I'm very hopeful, but I don't think the business is ever going to be the same. And I think that that if they don't open up their mind, it will be completely segmented. Like there's going to be people that feel this way, work over here, which it shouldn't be. Like I remember being on sets with everybody and never knowing their politics, and never knowing their gender, or never knowing their sexual preferences.
Never caring.
I never knew it. And
Who cares?
You could be on a set with people, and Tim Allen's just a normal guy. All of a sudden, he's too far right. Like, what are you talking about? It's just crazy.
Yeah.
So I think that it will, but I don't even know what we're going to be. But I think that Hollywood's always going to be super liberal, which is okay if you're normal about it, not a psychopath. You know how many people unfollowed me? You know how many people unfollowed me, Lara? A lot. But you know what? None of them were on the right. But I didn't unfollow anybody.
Right.
100%.
Yeah. Well, it turns out we're the more tolerant of the two political leanings, but I digress. Before we let you go, and thank you so much. Again, I'm a fan of yours for a long time. I love being able to chat with you. I hope I get to see you in person. Hope I get to see one of your comedy shows. I would love all of that. Tell us about your podcast. How can people keep up with you, and about any upcoming shows? Because maybe you'll just see me in the audience. I don't know.
Well, I just did Sarasota, and now I'm going. I have 2 shows left this year. I'm doing Chicago this weekend, and then I'm doing Reno, and then I'm done for the year. And I have a podcast every week called "Hate to Break It to You," and it's just kind of like looking at things that are uncomfortable, I guess. Sometimes I have a guest, a lot of times me ranting. People have said I've gone a little political lately. I'm like, not really. I'm talking about what's in the universe, but
yeah.
I think that people follow that for the stuff that I can't really talk about, as we get stuff on the YouTube. I go to church law. But yeah, I do that. I've got a couple of movies I did. They're in, but we did one called "Don't Suck." But we Amazon Matt Rawl. So that's not happening. But I'm out here with the people.
Well, I hear. And by the way, you got insight when you were around the country into what I did and what so many of us on the campaign trail did as well, which is that I was just like, look, there's no way that he doesn't blow this thing out based on everything that I've seen on every airport I've been in, every restaurant I've been to, every gas station, everywhere in America, because obviously I got to travel probably a lot like you did. And it's just amazing to see that the polls were so tight and all of those sorts of things. But listen, we had a great outcome. There was a loud and clear message from the American people. And I want to say thank you to you too, Jamie, for being willing to speak up about it, because I know it's not easy in your industry, but I do think that people are feeling very hopeful right now about the future. And I think people are feeling like they could come out. You could do a Trump dance on a soccer field, on a football field, in a UFC ring. People are cool with it.
Incredible.
Yeah.
Incredible. It's incredible.
It's a good time.
Thank you. Like I literally, I'm a great origin story if this ever gets to your father-in-law, because I was just made by, everything that they say they're not. I was made by bullying, by oppression of thought, by them talking stuff. And I'm like, I didn't do anything. I'm just an artist. I just want to, act and stuff. And they made me. So then I was like, well, let me look into this stuff. And so I did. And then that's when I started just loving more and more what your father-in-law was doing. And it was fascinating. And also people like John Boyd, who has educated the masses and also educated me, and like I said, I don't know what I am. I was independent, centrist. I mean, you're fighting,
who cares? Again,
your father-in-law was just a registered independent for a while, I think. So I only speak out because I can't stand hypocrisy. And then I speak out because this is not disproven anymore. I really believe it's
well, it's the new era. Donald Trump says it'll be the golden age of America. I'm ready for it. I think we're all ready for it. And Jamie Kennedy, good luck with everything. We'll be checking you out on your podcast. Hate to break it to you. Everybody go check him out. Thanks for spending some time with us. Good luck with everything. And to everybody at home, as always, make sure you like, subscribe, share, and follow. We'll see you back here next time for more of The Right View. And I won't back down. Hey, baby, there ain't no easy way out.
Nothing is worse than being on a phone call that drops. Nothing is worse than trying to text someone and you can't reach them because your phone is out of service range. And nothing is worse than supporting these major corporations and companies who don't support us. That is why I love Patriot Mobile. They are America's only Christian conservative wireless network. They use every cell tower out there available to all networks so that they have the greatest 4G and 5G coverage nationwide. And they support the causes that are important to us as conservatives. If you go today to patriotmobile.com/Lara Trump and use the promo code Trump, you will get free activation today. Again, that is patriotmobile.com/Lara Trump. The promo code is Trump for free activation so that you can get a great cell plan and feel good about doing it.